Over the last many months, I've had many types of running shoes I could choose from. This is the pair that I reach for more often than not. This is the NORDA 001. I've had them through the summer months, the fall, and now the winter.
While I'm waiting here for the world's longest train to go by. Well, I think the noise has kind of died down. Hello everyone, Dog Walker Dave here. Today I'm going to give you my long-term review of the NORDA 001. As you can see here, I'm out on the trail. I did not want to film this sitting at home because it's a trail shoe and I don't want to have all the perfect lighting and all that kind of stuff in a script. I'm doing this totally unscripted and totally unsponsored because NORDA did not send me these shoes, but I want to give you my thoughts on this shoe. I've had for hundreds of kilometers of use, over 60 hours total, because there was some hiking in there, there was some road running. I was running in the summer, in the fall, and as you can see now in the winter with the 001s, and I want to give you my overall thoughts on this pair of trail running shoes. I'm not going to bore you with all the stats that you can find on the NORDA website. So what I want to do is just to give you how I felt about them and if I'm going to continue to run in them. Well, a few things. Number one, they are so well built. It is incredible how durable these things are. You know, the upper is made of Dyneema and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. They're overbuilt. They are built so well. The upper is pretty much indestructible. We have a 5mm lug, Vibram light base lug, and Vibram also in the midsole. Now I know when you have a pair of running shoes, the limiting factor for the most part is whether the midsole is going to last. A bunch of Canada geese go by here. The one thing that's going to limit how much use you get out of a pair of running shoes is going to be the midsole, because that's the first thing that's going to go, whether it's going to last hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. In some cases, some midsoles only last about 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, depending on the blend that they use and just the manufacturing and what type of midsole, etc. But I can say from my experience, it took probably 100 kilometers of use to break in the shoe itself, because they are so well built, and that foam finally start to soften up after probably 10 hours, 100 kilometers of use or so. Once that's broken in, these shoes underfoot feel absolutely incredible. I am not being paid to say this. They are absolutely incredible. The one downside to that is it took a long time to break them in, especially around the heel counter that does not exist. It took a while to figure out how to lock it down. Now you go on the NORDA website and you have all these ultra marathon runners that have pulled them right out of the box and ran 200 miles. That's not the case for me. But once they were broken in for me, and again, probably 100 kilometers of use before they broke in, it fits so nice. You have a seamless upper, so there's nothing on the inside that will cause you any blistering whatsoever. And it's almost a soft, it's almost like a wetsuit, a neoprene tri-wetsuit, or just a wetsuit material. It feels like it on the inside. Now the downside to that is that these don't breathe really well. They run warm, but I don't have a problem with that because I get cold feet. So these things, especially in the wintertime now, they are beautiful to run in. Minimal amount of padding on the tongue. And the one thing that gets overlooked in a lot of shoes is that they have this insole insert that's made of, it's like a Piba foam. I'm not sure what blend they use, but the insert on this, it's so comfortable. When these shoes wear out, whenever that's going to be, I'm going to put these in another pair of shoes, even just if I'm going to kick around in them. The Vibram midsole is wearing extremely well. I'll just show you a little bit of a close-up here on the midsole. It is wearing extremely well. A little bit on, I'll show you here, a little bit on the outside heels, wearing down a little bit through here, toe off area, but it's very minimal. Considering I've run on the pavement with these, run through big mountains out in Banff National Park, all through trails, and just put these to good use. The pricing here in Canada actually benefits for the first time, or maybe not the first time, but the pricing here in Canada is $285 in Canada. I know it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. There's no doubt about it, a lot of money. But in the US, you pay more for these running shoes in the United States and many parts of the world. They just happen to be relatively inexpensive in Canada compared to the rest of the world. And I will go out, I'm just gonna call it right now, everyone. Again, once you break in these shoes, it took a while for me to break them in, but once you break them in, I find it hard to put on another pair of shoes. And I've been a runner for 40 years, and without a doubt, these are my favorite pair of trail running shoes, for sure. And they are probably in my top 3 pair of running shoes in my entire lifetime. My number 1 pair of running shoes for my entire lifetime would have to be the original Saucony Jazz that I got in 1983 or whenever it was. And they're my favorite only because they are my very first pair of running shoes that I ever owned. So they'll have to go down as my favorite because that started me on this whole running journey. And in the near future, I can't see running in anything but for trails, and even just in the wintertime on the roads here in Calgary, because the roads are just terrible now, and the sidewalks are icy and snowy and just bad conditions to run in. I can't see running in another pair of running shoes, and I will be picking up another pair of these. There is no question I will be getting another pair of these NORDA 001s. They are that good, and they've spoiled me. Spent a lot of money, but I'm looking at, I'm not sure how many kilometers I put in because I don't go on Strava. Hundreds, well over 500 kilometers of use, and they're showing no sign of breaking down. The midsole, again, like I said, is still very good, very comfortable. The upper's not going anywhere. The Vibram Mega Grip is amazing. And it's just going to be hard to run in any other type of running shoe. I have other running shoes that I can run in, but I'm always grabbing these lately. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have a pair of NORDA 001s, and I know many parts of the world, if you have them, you've spent a lot of money on them. And I know there are people out there, if you watch some other videos of people, NORDA, and they can't believe how much you spend on a pair of running shoes, but I look at it this way. This is what I do. This is where I spend my money. I have no problem spending that kind of money if they last. Because if you look at a pair of other brand of trail running shoes that last half the amount of time or 3/4 the amount of time, but just the overall comfort. Oh. Thanks for watching. I know I rambled on, everyone. Totally off script. Just the thoughts that are coming in my head about this pair of running shoes. NORDA, you've made me a fanboy for sure. Thanks for watching, everyone, and get outside.